Welcome everyone to the USL Insight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. The channel keeps growing and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's kind of like a humbling experience. Sometimes when I log in, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this many subscribers, and it just means the world to me. So once again, thank you guys. And with that, why don't we get into it? And the first thing I want to talk about is Birmingham Legion came out with the jersey, the Vulcan kit. Now, first impressions, I'm like, what the heck? There's no way I'm the only one that thought this, but it looks like this jersey belongs to Coca-Cola. It's like the Coca-Cola statue. Because when I saw it, I'm like, why would they put the sponsor right on the statue? That makes absolutely zero sense. I mean, we gotta... Hummel is a big company. How is it possible that they saw this jersey and said, yep, it looks good? And you guys know this. I'm all about sponsors on jerseys. I love that. But the design, why would you put it right there in the center of it? Why would you put it right underneath the statue where it literally looks like this statue belongs to Coca-Cola? I'm sure Coca-Cola loves this. They might as well have asked Birmingham if we could put our logo on that statue. There's no way they saw this and said, I mean, I don't know what happened, because the potential for this jersey to be looking like really sick is there. But the way that they did it, the way they executed it, an absolute fail just in that aspect, because I know I'm not the only one that thought this. I mean, then just the colorways of this jersey looks, it's absolutely beautiful. The black and gold is always going to look good. So they could have maybe put the statue down here or towards, you know, off to the side or something. It's tough, I understand. Or maybe to the side. I think off to the side would have looked a lot better, but I know it's tough. I'm sure they did these things, but just the fact that that was the one that they decided to produce, or the one that got the okay, it was a fail. Another jersey that I saw was the Colorado Springs jersey, and this jersey, I think it kind of looks a little plain, but I like this jersey because of all of the details that they put into it. They put different dates which are significant for Colorado Springs. They use a topographic map, and it shows different things, different like area code. It shows the area code for the city, different altitudes of where the stadium is, I believe, just different dates and stuff, which I thought was very creative. That's something you don't really see in jerseys. And so I like that aspect of the design process going into this jersey, where they really thought let's think outside of the box, and they did it. So I like this jersey. Just in that aspect, the creativity of it, I think was something that was not lacking. And I know it's the away jersey, so sometimes with away jerseys, there's not as much thought into it in the sense of the colorways. You know, it's a gray jersey, but still, I have to hand it to Colorado Springs in that design. You know, whether it be Colorado Springs or Capelli, they really did good on this one. And some other news that happened around the league was that Dom Dwyer was announced as a new Oakland Roots signing. When I heard this news, I thought, oh my gosh, Dom Dwyer is coming to the USL Championship, followed by, oh my gosh, where has Dom Dwyer been? I forgot about Dom Dwyer. I mean, that just tells you, kind of where he's going to be potentially when he does join the league. We haven't seen him in a while, so we'll see how he plays. If I'm not mistaken, he hasn't been with a club for a year, maybe a little bit longer. The last club he was at was Atlanta United, but he wasn't really doing anything there. And that has been a history of his for the last couple of years. His highlight has been like 2013, 14, 15. In 2017, that's when he made his appearances with the U.S. men's national team. But there's no denying that Dom Dwyer, once upon a time, I would argue was not the face of MLS, but he was one of the faces of MLS. When he was with Sporting Kansas City, the dominance that they had, that team was stacked. And I believe, I mean, you could make the argument that Dom Dwyer was a face of the league. I remember I loved watching those games. Sporting Kansas City was a team that I rooted for just because of them. I mean, the explosiveness that they had. You had Matt Beasley, Graham Zusi, Dom Dwyer. It was a good core of guys, and every time you saw them play, you knew that there was going to be goals scored. And I actually went to the playoff game. I think it was a conference final when they versus Houston Dynamo. Yeah, so I went to that game, and it was a lot of fun. Experiencing Kansas City, the stadium and everything about it was really fun. But like I said, Dom Dwyer, after he got traded from Kansas City, I would argue that his career sort of fell off. I don't know if you knew this, but he was at Toronto, he was in Atlanta, and it just didn't replicate. And it's unfortunate with a player that was such a high caliber player, to see them kind of dwindle out, phased out. And then, like I said, I forgot about him. I didn't even remember that I just assumed he was still playing. I had no idea that he wasn't with a club. And so we'll see what kind of player we get of him when he plays with Oakland Roots. Before, when he was in the championship, he really lit it up when he was with Orlando. And so, sometimes, I mean, there's no arguing that that gap is still very real between the MLS and the USL. So we shall see what happens. Maybe he will come here and kind of reignite his spark, and he'll be able to be that striker that he once was. Maybe. I mean, who knows? Because the league has also stepped up as compared to when he was in the USL Championship. The level has definitely improved. So we'll see. And Oakland Roots definitely need some help. I don't know. It could be a gamble. And Oakland Roots also fired their head coach. And I'll be honest, this was not the coach that I thought that was going to be let go first, because there is another team who is still winless. They haven't won yet, and so that guy still has a job. And I'm not saying like, yo, you got to get rid of this guy, right? Someone's getting fired. But that just comes with the territory. Coaches are hired and let go constantly. That's part of the game. But we shall see what happens. When I saw that this coach was fired, I was really eyebrows raised, because I'm like, El Paso still have their coach hired? How does he still have a job? I mean, I definitely thought he was going to be the one that was let go first. So I don't know. Maybe this will be a thing where he can turn it around, but we'll see. And this is definitely the fun part of the season, because you start seeing teams pulling away and then teams kind of falling behind, and you have, during the table, you're going to see a lot of ups and downs. So we shall see what happens with coaches, who's going to come, who's going to go. And so I wonder from you guys, are you happy with your team? How have they been performing? Are you satisfied, or would you like to see some changes? But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. These were a couple things that I want to talk about. Please don't forget to like this video. It really helps me out. The exposure is growing. The USL Championship is getting bigger, and it's all because of people like you who are tuning in. So thank you guys so much. And with that being said, I will see you all on the next one.